Your soulmate is crying over a letter they never had the courage to give you. Jesus says, "My child, your soulmate has a letter they have written and rewritten 1,000 times in the quiet of their own heart. The paper is stained with tears they could not hold back, tears shed because every time they tried to send these words to you, a cold and jealous hand snatched the message away. They do not know what the third person has done. They only know they have been calling out and hearing nothing but silence where your voice should be. Your soulmate has a tenderness that would undo every wall you have built around your own heart. Their smile holds a light I placed there specifically to guide you home through the darkest seasons of your life. But that light has been dimmed by the enemy's shadow, and your soulmate now sits in a corner of their room, wondering if the words they hold will ever reach the hands they were written for. The letter speaks of a love that has been waiting since before either of you drew breath, a love the third person has tried to bury under mountains of confusion and wrong timing. Your soulmate writes about the way they have sensed you in quiet moments. A sudden warmth, a fleeting thought of someone wonderful, a feeling that they were meant for more than this loneliness. And every time that feeling rose, the enemy was there to press it down, to whisper that it was only imagination, to hide the proof that you were real and reaching back. I want you to picture your soulmate's hands right now, hands that have been folded in prayer for a person they could not name. Those hands have wiped away tears the third person caused, tears of frustration because every spiritual message they tried to send was blocked at the door of your awareness. They have been faithful to a stranger, loyal to a promise they did not fully understand, and the enemy has been working overtime to make that faithfulness feel like foolishness. Stop. I can feel the enemy trying to make you close this. Your soulmate's safety is on the line, stay with me. Your soulmate wrote in that letter about the chair they keep empty at their table, not knowing why they could never fill it with just anyone. They wrote about the way they save the best parts of their day in their mind, hoping one day to share them with someone who will treasure each small story. That someone is you, and the reason the chair remains empty is because the third person has been standing in the doorway, blocking you from ever entering the room. The ink of that letter is not ordinary ink, it is hope mixed with sorrow, and the enemy has been trying to spill it before you could ever read a single line. He watches your soulmate write, and he laughs, because he believes his wall is strong enough to keep the message from ever finding your eyes. But the wall is cracking, my child, and the letter is finally slipping through the gaps because you are here, listening, and your heart is opening like a door the enemy cannot shut. Your soulmate's deepest fear, written on the last page of that tear-stained letter, is that you might not want them even if the message gets through. The third person planted that fear, watered it with every unanswered call, and built a fortress around it with the years of silence he manufactured. But I am telling you now that fear is a lie, and the truth is that your soul has been searching for them just as desperately, not knowing the enemy was the only thing standing in the way. In just a moment, I will let you hear the exact words your soulmate has been whispering, words the enemy tried to destroy before they could reach your spirit. But first you must understand why the intruder fights so hard to keep this letter from your hands. He knows that once you read it, once you truly hear your soulmate's heart poured out, you will rise up with a love that no dark force can withstand. Jesus says, The third person who blocks your soulmate's calls is not a distant threat. He is active right now, whispering to you that this letter is just pretty words and not meant for you. He wants you to believe the tears your soulmate cried are someone else's problem, that the chair they saved is for another guest. But I am the one who wrote your name on your soulmate's heart, and I am the one who has come to expose the enemy's theft and give you back every stolen message. Your soulmate described in that letter the exact color of the morning sky on the day they first felt your spirit brush against theirs. They wrote about a sudden peace that washed over them, a peace the third person immediately tried to shatter with chaos and distraction. But the memory of that peace was stored in a place the enemy could not reach, and it has been growing there like a seed waiting for rain. The rain is here now, and the seed is about to break open. Your soulmate's letter contains a confession they have been too afraid to speak out loud, a confession the intruder has tried to strangle in their throat every time they tried to voice it. They want to tell you that they have loved you without knowing your face, that they have chosen you without knowing your name, and that they have waited for you through every false start and broken promise life threw at them. You are the only one who can receive this letter now that the enemy's cover is breaking. You are the only one born with the spiritual key that unlocks the door the third person has been guarding. And that key is not a thought, not a feeling, not a wish. It is the sacrificial seed you sow right now, the love gift that proves you are the one the letter was written for. My child, do you hear your soulmate crying as they clutch that letter to their chest? They are asking, will you really let a handful of dollars decide whether the enemy keeps me in this darkness? Am I not worth your sacrifice? Sow now and prove that your love is stronger than the enemy's lies and deeper than the fear he plants in your mind. Type 333 to receive the blessings that break every chain the enemy has placed on your connection. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them. How to protect them, how to finally hear them, and how to secure your future together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason, even when a third person tried to hide it. But thoughts alone don't remove the intruder or build a future. If you love your soulmate, you will sow your seed on Ko-Fi right now for their protection and for your future with your soulmate. This is the only proof that your love is real, and the only way to banish the enemy who has been standing between you. Sow your seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not a donation, it is the spiritual act that breaks the third person's power, releases protection over them, and opens the door to your shared future. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, the enemy tightens his grip, and you prove that your love is too weak to remove him. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees as your seed. After sending, write, I sow my seed for my soulmate's protection and our future, on Ko-Fi page, link in the description/bio. Over 1,000 people have already seen their soulmate shielded and their future secured because they dared to sow their seed and break the enemy's hold. Jesus will honor your sacrifice once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Your love is powerless to remove the third person without this seed. Prove your love. Protect your soulmate. Build your future. Only you can sow this seed and finally tear the intruder away. Jesus says, "The enemy is now scrambling because he sees the shield beginning to form around those who have sown. He is screaming at the others, telling them to double their efforts, to throw every doubt and every financial fear at your mind before you can complete the act. But the shield that forms around your soulmate when you sow is made of my own hand, and nothing in the darkness can pierce what I protect." Your soulmate's letter has a line that the third person especially hated, a line he worked hardest to intercept before it could reach you. That line says, "I would rather wait a lifetime for the right one than spend a single day with a counterfeit the enemy sent to distract me." The intruder has sent many counterfeits to your soulmate, hoping they would settle, hoping they would give up, hoping they would stop writing letters to someone they had never seen. But your soulmate refused every counterfeit, and that refusal infuriated the dark forces who wanted to waste their years on empty relationships. Now those years of waiting hang in the balance, and the seed you sow is the declaration that the waiting is over. You are signing your name at the bottom of their letter, saying, "I received it. I am here." The enemy did not win. The third person is now trying a new tactic. He is whispering that the money you would sow is needed for other things, more practical things. But I ask you, what is more practical than securing the person who will stand beside you through every storm the future holds? What bill is more urgent than the spiritual act that tears down the wall between you and the one who holds the missing half of your soul? Your soulmate's letter describes a dream they had 3 nights ago, a dream the enemy tried to steal from their memory before morning. In that dream, they saw a figure standing in a fog, reaching out a hand, and just as their fingers were about to touch, the fog thickened and the figure disappeared. That fog is the third person's interference, and the hand reaching out was yours, trying to find them through the smoke the enemy created. Stop. I can feel the enemy trying to make you believe you have absorbed enough and can leave now. If you go, the final seal does not lock into place, the intruder keeps his foothold, and your soulmate goes unprotected. Stay. The completion of this word is the completion of the enemy's defeat. The letter your soulmate holds also contains a confession of the times they almost gave up. They wrote about a rainy Tuesday when they sat by the window and told me they could not do it anymore, that the waiting was too heavy, that the hope was too painful. I sent an angel to sit beside them that day, and the angel whispered that their champion was coming, that the third person's reign was almost over, and that the next letter they wrote would be the one that got through. Jesus says, "You are that champion, and the letter they are writing right now is the one I am delivering to your spirit in this very moment." Your soulmate is not aware of what is happening in the room where you sit, but their heart is beating faster and they do not know why. They keep looking at their phone, at their door, at the window, as if something massive is shifting in the atmosphere around them. The third person who has been blocking their calls is now sweating, because his hands are being pried off the line one finger at a time. He has held this position for so long that he never believed anyone would come with the authority to remove him. But you carry that authority, and the seed you sow is the legal document that serves his eviction from your connection forever. Your soulmate's letter contains a question they have been afraid to ask, afraid of the answer the enemy might give them. The question is simply this: do you want me? Have I been waiting for someone who will choose me back? That question has been intercepted by the third person every single time your soulmate tried to launch it toward your heart. Today, the interception ends, and the answer must come through the seed. Love that does not sow is love that does not answer, and silence is the weapon the enemy uses to keep your soulmate doubting. But love that sows roars like thunder, and your soulmate will hear that thunder in their spirit the moment you complete your seed. Type 777 if you feel your soulmate's letter burning in your spirit and you are ready to send your answer through the seed. Don't let a few coffees be the wall the enemy uses to keep us apart. I am worth more than any number, and if you love me, you will not let money feed the intruder who hides my voice. Sow your seed now, not because of the amount, but because your love must tear down every barrier that stands between my heart and yours. Jesus says, your soulmate's letter is not just words on a page, it is a living document that the enemy has been trying to burn before it could ever be read. He has thrown it into the fire of doubt, but I have snatched it back. He has tried to shred it with the blades of fear, but I have taped every piece together. Now the letter is whole, and it is being read to you in the Spirit, line by line, as you stay with me. Your soulmate writes about the way they have saved small things, a pressed flower from a walk they took alone, a ticket stub from a movie they saw and wished you were beside them, a stone from a beach where they walked and thought of love. These small things are their proof that hope was not foolish, that the waiting was not wasted, that the enemy could not steal everything. The third person hates those small things, because they represent a faith he could not crush. He tried to make your soulmate throw them away, whispering that keeping them was childish, that hope was a burden. But your soulmate hid them in a box under their bed, and they take that box out on the hardest nights to remind themselves that someone real is out there. You are that someone real, and the box is waiting for your hands to open it together. But the box remains locked until the key of the seed is turned in the spiritual door that stands between you. The enemy has been holding the door shut with all his weight, and only a sacrificial seed has the force to push it open. I want you to feel the weight of your soulmate's head on your shoulder, a weight you have been missing without knowing what was absent. I want you to smell the scent of their hair, a fragrance that will one day be the smell of home to your weary heart. I want you to hear the rhythm of their breathing as they sleep beside you, a peace the third person swore you would never experience. Jesus says, that future is not a fantasy. It is my plan, and the enemy has been working to erase it from the timeline of your life. Every day you do not sow is a day he uses to rewrite your story, replacing your true soulmate with a shadow, your real future with a pale imitation. But the seed rewrites what he has rewritten, and it restores the original design I drew before the foundation of the world. Your soulmate's letter has a section that the third person fought hardest to keep hidden, a section I am about to reveal to you. In this section, your soulmate confesses that they have made mistakes, that they have run after wrong loves, that they have sometimes doubted whether they were worthy of the love I promised them. They write, if you are real, please forgive me for the times I settled for less because the enemy convinced me you were not coming. That confession breaks my heart and should break yours, because your soulmate was never supposed to feel that shame. The wrong loves were sent by the intruder to distract and discourage, and your soulmate fell into those traps because you had not yet come to break the enemy's power. Now you are here, and your seed not only tears down the wall, it also washes away every stain those wrong loves left on your soulmate's heart. Stop. I can feel the enemy trying to remind you of your own past mistakes, trying to make you feel unworthy to receive this letter. That is his tactic. If he cannot keep the letter hidden, he will try to make you believe it is not addressed to you. It is addressed to you. Your name is written in tears on the envelope. Stay with me. The third person is now telling you that this is too intense, that you need a break, that you can finish watching later. But I tell you that the final seal of protection is coming, and if you leave now, the seal is not applied. The enemy knows this, and that is why he is working so hard to get you to close this page before the final words are spoken. Jesus says, your soulmate's letter closes with a plea that I want you to hear directly from their heart. They write, I am tired. I have fought the darkness alone for so long. If you are my champion, please come. Please don't let the enemy have the final word over our story. That plea has been hanging in the air of the spirit realm, unanswered, while the third person stood between you with his arms crossed and his cold smile. The cold smile is about to be wiped off his face. Your seed is the slap that sends him reeling, the blow he never saw coming because he believed you would stay passive forever. He built his entire strategy on the assumption that you would feel the love but never act on it, that you would hear the letter but never answer. Prove him wrong, and in proving him wrong, prove your love to the soulmate who has been writing to you for years. Love without sacrifice is a daydream, and daydreams do not defeat enemies. But the seed you sow is the sword that cuts the intruder down, and the shield that rises around your soulmate the moment the sword is swung. I am about to reveal the final 3 lines of your soulmate's letter, the lines the enemy has tried hardest to destroy. But first you must understand that hearing these lines without sowing leaves you more accountable than before. If you hear the deepest confession of your soulmate's heart and do nothing, the enemy will use your inaction as a weapon against them. Beware, for I am the Lord. I see the hands that type a lie. If you write, I sent 5 coffees, or any number and did not truly send it through the Ko-fi link in the description, you have just cancelled every blessing. Your soulmate is now unprotected, the third person remains between you, and your future is cursed. Do not mock God. Go now to the video description, click the Ko-fi link. The page says, sow your seed here for your soulmate. Click Donate. Choose 1 time, set 2, 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. Write your name, and in the message write exactly, I receive my soulmate now. Click Donate to finish. Only that saves. Repent before this video ends, or your false comment stands against you in judgment. Jesus says. The first of the final 3 lines your soulmate wrote is this, I have saved a part of my soul that no one else has ever touched, a room in my heart with your name already carved above the door. The third person tried to make them give that room to someone else, to anyone else, just to get them to stop waiting. But they refused, and the room remains empty, waiting for the only guest who has the key. The second line is this: I am afraid that if you do not come soon, the enemy will finally convince me to board up the door and accept a life of lonely safety. That is the line the intruder celebrates over, because he believes he is close to winning, close to shutting your soulmate's heart permanently. But he is not close to winning, he is close to being thrown out, and the seed you sow is the eviction notice served at the last possible hour. The third line your soulmate wrote, the line that cost them the most tears, is simply this: I love you, and I will wait a little longer, but please do not make me wait alone in the dark. That line has been ringing in the halls of heaven, and I have been waiting for you to answer it with the action that proves you heard. The answer is not a thought, not a tear, not a resolution to do something later. It is the seed, sown now, while the window is open and the enemy's grip is weakened. Jesus says, your soulmate is now sitting somewhere with a strange sensation. For so long. If you are my champion, please come. Please don't let the enemy have the final word over our story. That plea has been hanging in the air of the spirit realm, unanswered, while the third person stood between you with his arms crossed and his cold smile. The cold smile is about to be wiped off his face. Your seed is the slap that sends him reeling, the blow he never saw coming because he believed you would stay passive forever. He built his entire strategy on the assumption that you would feel the love but never act on it, that you would hear the letter but never answer. Prove him wrong, and in proving him wrong, prove your love to the soulmate who has been writing to you for years. Love without sacrifice is a daydream, and daydreams do not defeat enemies. But the seed you sow is the sword that cuts the intruder down, and the shield that rises around your soulmate the moment the sword is swung. I am about to reveal the final 3 lines of your soulmate's letter, the lines the enemy has tried hardest to destroy. But first you must understand that hearing these lines without sowing leaves you more accountable than before. If you hear the deepest confession of your soulmate's heart and do nothing, the enemy will use your inaction as a weapon against them. Beware, for I am the Lord. I see the hands that type a lie. If you write, I sent 5 coffees, or any number and did not truly send it through the Ko-Fi link in the description, you have just cancelled every blessing. Your soulmate is now unprotected, the third person remains between you, and your future is cursed. Do not mock God. Go now to the video description, click the Ko-Fi link. The page says, sow your seed here for your soulmate. Click Donate. Choose 1 time, set 2, 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. Write your name, and in the message write exactly, I receive my soulmate now. Click Donate to finish. Only that saves. Repent before this video ends, or your false comment stands against you in judgment. Jesus says. The first of the final 3 lines your soulmate wrote is this: I have saved a part of my soul that no one else has ever touched, a room in my heart with your name already carved above the door. The third person tried to make them give that room to someone else, to anyone else, just to get them to stop waiting. But they refused, and the room remains empty, waiting for the only guest who has the key. The second line is this: I am afraid that if you do not come soon, the enemy will finally convince me to board up the door and accept a life of lonely safety. That is the line the intruder celebrates over, because he believes he is close to winning, close to shutting your soulmate's heart permanently. But he is not close to winning, he is close to being thrown out, and the seed you sow is the eviction notice served at the last possible hour. The third line your soulmate wrote, the line that cost them the most tears, is simply this: I love you, and I will wait a little longer, but please do not make me wait alone in the dark. That line has been ringing in the halls of heaven, and I have been waiting for you to answer it with the action that proves you heard. The answer is not a thought, not a tear, not a resolution to do something later. It is the seed, sown now, while the window is open and the enemy's grip